Today we'll be replacing the factory exhaust manifold on this 99 24 valve Cummins. I don't know if you can see it here, but the factory one on this truck done what the factory one on all of them does. Cracks right here on top of the manifold, starts underneath and cracks across the top. I've found that the best replacement for them, best bang for your buck, is the DPS 3-piece T3 manifold. I mean, it's direct bolt in, cheaper than any other 3-piece manifold you'll find. So let's get into taking this manifold off.
I'm a highway outlaw, stealing smoke, clutching gears till the morning broke. Run my miles where the wild ones roam. The blacktop's fire, but it feels like home.
First, you'll start with your airbox. I've already loosened the clamps on this. Squeeze it up out of the way. Lay it off to the side. Next, we're gonna open up the airbox here. Take the lid off of it. Pull our filter out of it. It's a little dirty. And you're gonna have 3 bolts down in the airbox. I don't know if you can see them there or not, but 1, 2, 3. We'll get those loose here. These seem to be just hand tight. And whenever you take this bottom half of your airbox out, make sure to unhook it from the pickup, that fresh air vent from the fender well. You don't want to try to pull that whole thing out of the fender. So just come inside of it, press down on it, pick up, pull it out. Now if that's out of the way, we'll get to, when I do the exhaust manifolds, I'm not doing anything to do with the turbo. I just take the 4 nuts off of the, where it bolts the manifold to the turbo. Take all 12 bolts off from the manifold to the head and just slide my new manifold back in with the gaskets. It seems to work better for me that way. Also, whenever you're doing this, it's better if you let the truck warm. I know it'll be hot on your hands, but if you let the truck warm up, these bolts come loose a lot easier and they have a lot less chance of breaking off. And if one breaks off, it's a pain. I've had to deal with it a couple times on some big trucks, but I haven't had to do it yet on a 5.9. Hope I don't have to do it this time. On this truck, these nuts on the manifold here that we're taking off, these top 2, and then there's 2 underneath down here on the bottom. You gotta squeeze in there and get them. They're 15 millimeter, and I mean, some trucks might vary on the size. I've had them be 13s, 14s, 15s, even 17s on one truck. Just depends on who's been in here before and not put back what it originally took. And doing an exhaust manifold job like this, it's not really a big job. I would advise people to just do it, learn how to do it. It's one more thing you can do to save yourself some money. And this back one over here on the back side on the bottom is a real pain to get to. A lot of times you can take this out of your way first and it'll really help you be able to maneuver down in there and get to it. That just slides off. Now, I'll go ahead and take that manifold bolt out. All of your exhaust manifold bolts are a 13 millimeter. Push that over out of the way. Get our 15 millimeter wrench, squeeze down here underneath to the bottom, and get that up on there. Push it down. Might need a step stool for that one. And the good thing about going to that big 3-piece manifold is right here in the middle where they crack, it's because of heat expansion back and forth on the cast manifold, and it has nowhere to move back and forth. But by going to that 3-piece manifold, it gives it the stretch it needs to move with the heat, and it's beefed up and a lot thicker right here in the middle where it needs to be. Those 4 are off. So now we're just to our exhaust manifold bolts. 6 on top and 6 on the bottom. Also, if you're looking for cheap work luts, these, you just buy them on the TikTok shop. I think you can get like 4 of them for $20 or something. It's a whole lot cheaper than buying them from the Snap-on Man or out of any catalog, or even beats Harbor Freight's prices on them. And I'm telling you, I've absolutely put them through it. I think I probably have 10 of them, and they've held up really well for me.
Switch over to channel a little socket and then backwards. You ever get in there a little bit, baby? And a swivel, like this one that I've got, helps out a lot as well. But it seems I ain't gonna be able to fit the impact in there. Get my electric ratchet here. have to get out. And this manifold job's a job you can just do right in your driveway. Or wherever you have to do it, you don't have to have a shop and nice tools to do it.
I do recommend using an impact on these manifold bolts, but as long as you heat it up good, you shouldn't have any issues with it. Now, the bottom two in the middle are a little bit different story. Got a lot down here, just a 13mm wrench. Squeeze in here any way you can. And the way I do this is try to get it at a pretty good angle, and then get your next size up wrench, and you're just gonna lock it into it to help you get, it's like just a breaker bar extension or something, but just lock your wrenches together, give you the extra torque on it. Oh, got that one broke loose there. Let me move this around here, try to get you a better view. All right, you might be able to see these down in here now. They're right there and right there. You can't really get an impact on that great. So just squeeze down through here. I already broke this one over here loose. So turn it just a little bit more, get it to where I can get it just finger tight. And nestle my way through here.
I have to move the camera over. There we go.
Able to squeeze in there to get that one out. And I will say, leaving the turbo on does make these two down in here a lot harder. But dealing with the headache of resealing the drain and getting your turbo out, a whole lot simpler just to leave it in and work around it. For me, at least.
I'm getting here and get this other one broke loose. Oh, see here. That'd be good if I use the 13. Get it on there. See if I can fit the other one down in here. Get that extra little bit of push on it. So I'm going to have to move this back up out here. Get it out of the way. Got it moving.
Wiggle your manifold if you're screwing it out and it gets a little tight on you again there. They can sometimes fall down on it and get it in a bind. And just work it just a little bit at a time. Those old exhaust manifold gaskets are going to fall out. I mean, if you're really on a tight budget and trying to save a lot of money, I guess, you can reuse the old gaskets. I highly recommend not to, but I have done it before and it does work. Just clean them up good. But for the around $30-40 extra dollars, depending on what set you get, it's a whole lot easier just to spend that little bit extra money to know it's getting a good seal. And slide, pull your turbo over, slide up on that, pull this back down out of the way. Swing on our turbo gasket here, squeeze it down off of there. There's your old manifold. cracked right there in the middle around. And down here on the bottom is where they start. They always start right there. So that one's going in the scrap bin. And we'll take and clean up those exhaust ports. I just use a little wire wheel on a bit driver. These are my two go-to. They're Forney, that one, and then the bail. I always start with the bail. Get my light up here. Move you back over here where you can see better. So I can keep up with my tools that keep falling. Just start on the first one.
Press it up against it and let it clean that off real good. Want to get a good sealing surface for that. Here's where our other wheel comes in, where we still have the turbo on there. Just squeeze this down in here. Go around it real good. Switch our brushes back out. Squeeze back here to the back one. Well, second to back. Cylinder 5. And last one. Wipe them off with a rag. Now.
With our manifold we're going back with, I always take and try to do the, sorry, I didn't realize I accidentally zoomed it in there. Just lay it up somewhere just like that, and do the exact same thing to it. Get our bail brush here.
Stuff them up. You don't want to take them down. Crazy hard. Stuff that top layer up enough. And you can try to help yourself get a better seal on it.
The whole point of replacing it's because you had an exhaust leak, so it's not to cut any corners. So now you get your manifold back up here and take your old turbo gasket off, just a T3 metal gasket. Best just go ahead and get a new one. They're super cheap. Amazon, eBay, anywhere. Get it clean enough to seal with that new gasket. And on the manifold, where it's new and shiny, I just always do the exact same thing. Just take the brush and scuff it real good. Now, take our old manifold, lay it up here. Take two of our nuts that we took off of that, put one down on it, put the other one over top of it, tighten it down pretty snug. So you just double nut it, tighten the top one down, just hold the bottom one with your fingers, and then get a 15 that'll fit between the two. Take our top wrench, hold it like that on there, keep it tight, just back this one off, and as you back it off, it'll break that stud loose, because you got to put the studs back over in your new manifold. And I think the full hardware kit you can buy with it comes with the new studs and nuts. But I don't think anything's wrong with reusing these. take the nuts back off. Screw it into the new manifold and do the same thing for the other one. Alright, take our new T3 gasket, lay it down on the turbo, and then take and get rid of that old one and just squeeze the new one back down in here. Pull out on the turbo a little bit, squeeze it down into the holes. There we go. It's in there. We'll take our new hardware and our gaskets. Flip the camera around here. So now we take our new hardware. We gotta open all of our stuff up. Get our gaskets out here. So you'll just take your gasket, slide it down into place. Gets pretty close. Put the new bolt in, line it up, and just work it around till you get it started. They've got those little tabs on the outsides of them. Move it around. So, if I can get it to line up. Also, they have little tabs on the gasket itself to where whenever you line it up on the bolt, it'll thread up onto the bolt. So you pull it back here and get your gasket lined up. And then, now that that's lined up, now that the gasket and the bolt's lined up, we can line the manifold up with the head. Just pick up on it here, line it up. Make sure it's straight. You really don't want to cross thread these. Sorry, I'm gonna have to move the camera back up here out of the way. I would like to keep it down there, but give you a better view, but it's just right where I need to be. Get her first. Make sure to get it started by hand, and then you can put something on it. Run it in just a little bit. Now, this is where I like to get our next gasket and go to the very back of the manifold. Squeeze in here, same thing, just a little bit harder in a tighter spot. On our gasket, well, drop that one, get another one here. Don't know what that was. But we'll get our gasket in here, get it lined up with our manifold.
Pick it up, line it up straight, and get started into the head. Alright, get started there.
Now don't run these up all the way tight. Just run them up to where they'll hold in place good. Now, just come back to the front. Line our gasket up with our bolts. Let's move it around a little bit. Pick up here. Started by hand. Run it in a little bit and just do the same thing on all 6 of them.
I want to get under there and get that other gasket that I dropped. With these new shorter bolts, it ain't nowhere near as bad trying to get these bottom ones back in underneath the turbo. Got our last gasket here. Now if you do go through on your first pass, when you try to get these gaskets in, and if you do tighten them all the way down, it's going to make trying to get these other gaskets in really hard on yourself. So, highly recommend, do not tighten them all the way. Just get them, and pretty good thing you're tied in there. If you want to run them up a little bit with something, run one up, get our last bolt to the very back, get gasket lined up. Screw it on in there.
Now, whenever you do go to tighten them up, there is a specific torque spec for it, but just as long as you run them up pretty tight, you don't have to have a torque wrench. And do try to start in the middle and work your way out.
Don't believe I'm going to be able to get my electric ratchet on those two on the bottom, so we'll just do them by hand. Just run them by hand as far as you can, and then tighten them down with your wrench. Or you could probably get a small ratchet in here, but it would have to be a really small one. Got a 13mm. I'm gonna grab us a ratchet wrench. A little stubby ratchet wrench. Hopefully we'll be able to fit in there and get them snug down before we put the regular wrench on. I dropped it.
Well, it seems my phone's on 20%, so it stopped videoing there, but I got this top one here tightened. I'm working on the bottom one on the number 2 cylinder. It's pretty tight to get to as well, but you just want to try to tighten them in a circular pattern as you go. Do something. They send you, I don't know where it went to now. It's falling down, but it's, oh, here it is. It's just a little bracket they want you to connect on top of the manifold and hook it to your heater core line. I don't like these. I just cut the bracket off of the heater core line. This is like the 5th or 6th manifold I've done like this. It makes it easier and it don't cause any issues I've seen. Move you over here. You can see it a little bit better. Just right here on the heater core hose, there's this bracket, and you're gonna they want you to bolt it to this hole and hook it with that little bracket right there. But I just always come right here and the old bracket. Don't cut the line, obviously, it's heater core line, but just cut the bracket off of it. You'll be able to move that hose up and down, get it out of your way. And I think now that that's out of the way, I'll be able to get an impact back in there. Move that out of the way just enough to tighten it down.
Go back across to the back here. Start on the bottom one. Tighten it up good. The top one, tighten it up good. Back to the front. Top one, front. Bottom one. Let's see if we can get a shallow socket. Or I'm not going to do it for deep one. Squeeze back in there to those collar back too. Tighten them down pretty good. So definitely don't want to He-Man them and break them off. They're not lug nuts. Have to tighten down crazy.
Alright, so my phone keeps stopping videoing. I got that bottom one back there tightened. Got all the manifold bolts tightened them in a circle sequence, inside, out. And I went ahead and put the 2 nuts on the top here, tightened them down. Now, on the front bottom on the turbo, just got a 15mm socket and an extension. Gonna squeeze this down in here and work it by that wastegate actuator. And squeeze it just up on there like that. Now you can't see it in there, but I can't get the camera in there at any kind of angle to where you can see it and I can see it. Tighten it down good. Last one's our back one. Squeeze it up in there. You'll have to use your finger eyes on this one. And I'm sure you can get in there where you can see it, but it's already a tough position anyway. Let it start it up on there. And grab our 15 wrench, tighten it down.
Good. Tight. Our wrench is hung in there. Take it off, move it back again.
There we go. Good and tight on that one. Top ones are good and tight. And that's changing the manifold. And these DPS manifolds, they look pretty good under the hood too. They have 2 ports on the top and bottom for your EGT probe, or, well, my video cut off again. But like I was saying, it's got 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom for an EGT probe, or if you want to check out your drive pressure or whatever, hook a gauge up to it. You screw those little plugs out. But highly recommend the Diesel Power Source 3-piece manifolds and their bolt kit. Now we just gotta clean up our tools out of here. Make sure we get all of them back. You don't want to send any down the road with this one. And we'll put our airbox, air filter all back in. So it looks like for tools you'll need a 14mm wrench, 13mm wrench, 2 15mm wrenches, 15mm deep well socket, shallow well socket, 13mm deep well, shallow well, flat screwdriver, 13 ratchet wrench if you have one. If not, it'll just take you a while with the normal one. And one of these wobbles, impact wobbles, does really good. Get all of our bolts that are left over cleaned up out of here, all old ones. Alright, so now after we got all our tools cleaned up out of here, all we got left to do is put our airbox back in. Start by putting it down in here and getting the duct work for the fresh air out of the fender well. Lined back up with our box. A little bit of pain getting it back in there. Line our 3 bolts up with those 3 studs. I'll just push them all the way down there tight, and you can snug them up hand tight a little bit more if you want. Alright, so video keeps cutting off while I'm working, but just push those down on there, those 3, after you work your inlet into it. Put your filter back in, put your cap on, clip all 4 of your clips, put the boot back on, tighten both of these clamps on it, and that's all for the manifold. Everything from start to finish. Hopefully the camera cutting off didn't cut too much out of it. thanks for watching. I hope it helped you. Make sure to comment any extra questions or anything you want me to try to do next. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.